Emily works as a tour guide in one of America's most haunted houses, the Lizzie Borden House, located in Falls River, Massachusetts. On August 4, 1892, Andrew and Abby Borden were found hacked to death with the use of a hatchet or an axe. Andrew was discovered in a pool of blood on the living room couch, his face nearly split in two. Abby was upstairs, her head smashed to pieces. Lizzie Borden, one of the daughters of Andrew, was the main suspect, but has been found innocent due to lack of evidence. Today, the Lizzie Borden House has been developed into a bed and breakfast inn, and museum. They also offer a house tour, a ghost tour and a ghost hunt. Emily is one of the best tour guides in the celebrated murder house. It's always gratifying and amusing to see guests creeping out and being scared, as they go to the spots where Andrew and Abby were brutally murdered. Some of the guests confirm that they felt ghostly presence, or heard slamming doors and footsteps, or even heard the laugh of Lizzie Borden. Emily found those testimonies beyond belief, because for her, those are just figments of their wild imaginations. It's almost certain that being inside and walking on the halls of a murder house bring chills and fright. But for Emily, who has not felt or seen any ghostly presence her entire life, all those stories are just fabricated. Emily spearheaded the ghost tour that day. It's a 90-minute tour that takes place from 7:30 to 9 o'clock in the evening. It includes a visit to the first floor of the Lizzie Borden House, where Andrew Borden was murdered, and a tour out in town to the other haunted locations nearby. Emily and her group was halfway in the tour. They decided to rest for a while outside the Borden house, to feel the night breeze the evening has to offer. Emily was chatting with a guest, when she noticed something moving from the window on the second floor. If she's not mistaken, that's the room where Abby was murdered. Her heart leapt for a bit, but she convinced herself that it was just the shadow, casted by the lit candle in the room. Then after a minute, she noticed a shadow prowling on the walls. She got frightened. She's starting to believe the existence of something paranormal. Emily mustered some courage and informed the group that they will continue with the tour. It was almost 9 in the evening, when the group returned to the murder house. The guests went to their respective rooms on the second floor, while Emily stayed on the first floor, and rested on the couch where Andrew was murdered. She was looking around when she noticed the handleless axe, beside the replica of the smashed skulls of the victims, missing. She panicked. Though it is just a copy, it has a high monetary value, and most importantly, it is a crucial item of the Lizzie Borden Murder House. Without it, the essence of the murders will be incomplete. It would be impossible for someone to take it, because everyone was on the tour earlier. She had goosebumps. Currently, she is considering the possibility that the ghost of Lizzie Borden, or Andrew or Abby, is hiding the axe. She was in the middle of a deep, bewildered and horrified thinking, when she heard a door slammed on the second floor, followed by a scream, asking for help from one of the guests. She hurriedly ran upstairs. The shout for help came from the room where Abby was murdered. She pushed the door as hard as possible. She gasped at what she saw. A guest was lying on the floor, bleeding, and on top of her is a rugged-looking man holding the handleless axe. The man is about to chop the guest, when Emily immediately kicked him with all her might. The man lost his balance then fell on the floor. She managed to grab the axe from the man's hand. She immediately called for help using her phone. The rest of the guests was awoken by the noise and helped in subduing the intruder. Emily connected all that happened that night. There was no ghost. The shadow she saw earlier and the axe missing was all the man's doing. The police came and arrested the culprit, while the guest that was attacked was taken to a nearby hospital. When the sun came up, Emily went to the hospital to visit the guest. The guest was thankful for Emily saving her. Emily said that if not for the door slamming and the cry for help, she would not be able to rescue her. The guest got confused. She said that she did not slam the door because she was on the bed bleeding. Also, she did not scream for help because the man was covering her mouth the whole time. Emily felt chills all of a sudden. At that time, the thought of a ghostly presence is slowly sinking on her.